Let's talk about some childhood favorites. Hamburgers and fries, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, peanut butter and jelly. So let's take one of the main components. Make some fresh grape jelly today. Let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. So first off, you want to get your ratios right. So the whatever berries you use, I'm using grapes today. We're actually making jam, not jelly. I'll explain the difference in a second, but what you want to do is, I use 2 cups of grapes here and 4 cups of water. Use some hot water because it boils faster. It's kind of common sense. And then from your berry to your sugar, same thing, a 2 to 1. So 1 cup of sugar, 2 cups of grapes, and 4 cups of water. And what you're going to want to do is just boil it down, and keep mixing it. It's gonna thicken up. There's something in lots of different fruits called pectin, and what the pectin does is it forms like a natural binder. It kind of turns into like a jello consistency. But yeah, this is the way to make jam, jelly, all of that stuff. Now, here's the difference. There's preservatives, which are the whole berry. Pretty much what I'm doing right here. You mix everything in, add a little bit of sugar, boil it down, but I'm going to mash it up so it's going to have a consistency more like a jam. After I added the sugar in, just to make sure it's dissolved. So you can see, not taking too long. Just keep stirring it until you see the bottom of the pan. Make sure there's nothing on the bottom. And then eventually it'll start getting to a rolling boil. Whatever you're cooking is going to lose its color. They're going to start splitting like that. Now, keep taking a look at that. Like, they lost their color. They look kind of odd. You can actually take one out, taste it. They're not the best tasting. You see the different assortment of the colors, and eventually it's going to thicken up. This is when you want to switch to a whisk. Once you switch to a whisk, be very careful because you will burn the ever-living life out of you if you get this on you. This stuff is extremely hot. You can see I actually got some on the stove, and yeah, you get it on the stove. It's also kind of hard to clean up because it's a sticky mess. It's jam, jelly, preservative, whatever you're making. Now, with jelly, what everybody's used to, jelly is just the juice. So if I had taken these grapes, run them through a juicer, poured it in, I might have had to add some pectin in afterwards, but that's another video. But jelly is just the juice. Jam, typically it's like the chopped up bits, and the preservatives, it's the whole fruit, and you just mix it. Do exactly what I'm doing here. I'm using the whisk to kind of break it up because these have been going for about 30-35 minutes so far. It's not a fast process. It takes a little while. And you'll see it's still kind of watery. You still see the skin of the grapes and some whole grapes in there. But just keep whisking away. And when it gets really, really low like this, when you reduced it by about 3/4, don't walk away from it because it will burn. And then all of that was for nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and start prepping a jar. What you want to do is take some hot water, put it in a jar, and let it sit for a bit, then pour some more hot water in it. You can get these jars just about anywhere, get them online, local store, but see, I have hot water in there, and I'm going to go dump it out because it is burning my hand. Dump it out, bring the jar back, make sure there's no water left in it, and immediately, yes, immediately, start pouring your jam, jelly, or preservatives, whatever you're doing in. If you're doing what I did, yeah, technically you can make the argument and say it's a preservative, but I'm going to call it jam. So, now what you're going to want to do, this is very important. You want to take and spoon the stuff in using the smallest spoon you possibly have in your kitchen. Not really. This was about 4 a.m. when I was filming this, and I wasn't thinking. I forgot I have something called a ladle, and I could have done this in one shot, but let's make it difficult. Learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. get a ladle and pour it in one shot. Don't take like 20 spoonfuls. And yeah, this stuff is gonna make, if you used a cup of grapes or strawberries or whatever berry, you're gonna get about a cup yield in return. Now at this point, what you're going to do is just kind of top it off. Don't get it all the way to the very top of the jar. If you get a canning jar, technically after you sanitize them, you could just put the lid on this, put it in the fridge, and it's going to seal. Now I'm going to take it, put the lid on it, put it in the fridge overnight, clean that little mess I made, and come back tomorrow morning. And with magical video editing, it's tomorrow morning, and you can see how it's solidified. This is amazing. This is what you want. This is the jam that you wish you had as a kid. It's amazing. See how thick it is, decadent, and it's spreadable. It's, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna put this down because I need to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. All right guys, thanks for watching. Tune in, subscribe, and like for more videos.